Evan suffered brain injury after being hit by a car a few years back, and that caused him to lose the capacity to recognize everyday objects. We asked Kevin what he sees when he looks at things.
I see colours, shapes, punctuated by faces, the faces of people which I really recognise, and they stand out much more than anything else. That's why I can't read words or read music anymore. So I still can imagine what that looks like in my mind's eye, but I can't imagine what it looks like, or I can't see what it looks like when I look at it. So essentially, I find things through colour.
In fact, the brain needs both the structural and semantic processing to be able to interpret information transmitted through vision.
I can sometimes pick out small components of an object and by using memory as a reference, infer what it might be. Like if something's long and silver, it could be a spoon or a fork or a knife, and usually I'll use my hands to touch the end of it so I know, oh, it's a fork, or it's a knife, or it's a spoon. So memory does play an important role in that, and in everything I look. I mean, I come to this chair, I know it's a chair, I don't know what type of chair it is, I know it's pink, but I was able to sit down in it. But this is my house, so I know where everything is. Before I could read music, but now I can't read music anymore. So I deconstruct music in my mind's ear. So I listen to the piece, and I try to separate the different instruments, what they're playing, so the bass part, the treble part, the melody, and then or any harmonies, and then I reconstruct it back for the guitar. So I'm not listening to something, the singularity is broken down. I think we do that when we learn about anything. When you're a child and you take something apart, you deconstruct it to find out how it works, and you put it back together again. And then you have this intimate knowledge about how the object works and what it is. And I do that in my mind with things that I come across, especially with music anyway, I deconstruct it. That's my son, my oldest son, with Santa Claus. Yeah, Santa Claus, my oldest son. And this is one with my youngest son. When he was younger, he's a teenager now. But yeah, behind that angelic face is a demon child. That's my eldest son when he was, must have been about 6 weeks old, 2 months old. I think that's me here. And that's Hayden, my youngest son, when he was a baby.
And do you see the details of the face? Like, do you see the eyes clearly? What is it in the image that you recognize?
The whole face. And I'll tell you why I can see a whole face, but I can't see a whole object. Like this thing here, I only see parts of it. Like I see these diagonal things here, but I can't see the whole thing. But with the face, I see the whole thing. So you say, well, how come I can't see that in its entirety, but yet I can see the face in its entirety? It's because a completely different center of the brain processes faces than processes objects. And in me, the part that processes objects, symbols, has been damaged, but the part that processes faces is fine. And that's how I'm able to recognize people's faces. So I recognize my colleagues at work, my family. That's much, I'd much rather have the condition I have. I'm lucky, because I'd rather have that than not be able to recognize faces. That would be awful. Not being able to see the people you love anymore.
Visual agnosia cannot be cured. However, people adapt by using other senses as complementary aid, such as smell, touch, and hearing. Oliver Sacks gives us a great example of a man who continued to teach music despite his visual agnosia. In Kevin's case, his condition did not stop him from playing music, but instead of relying on reading notes, he now relies more on hearing and visualizing notes in his mind's eye. He is a great example of adaptation and persistence.